You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmonds, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
The schedule is out. We know who we're playing and when we're playing. It feels like the season's around the corner, but it is not. Delve into the full schedule release. Charlie, tell everyone what time it is.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmonds, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, we got the schedule. Miles traveled. Matter of fact, let's pump the brakes. Don't you got your ticket already?
I have my plane ticket and hotel booked. Haven't got the match ticket, but I was waiting.
Hey, that's dedication right there, Kadeem. The schedule drops and you get a plane ticket the next day. I'm trying to be like Kadeem Simmonds when I grow up.
I got the plane ticket before the schedule dropped. Obviously, Go Time Dolphins knew when we was going to Madrid early, so I booked it early. I wasn't waiting. And it's funny, in 24 hours that I waited, price went up by about £50. So I can only imagine what flights and hotels to Spain looks like right now. But
rub it in, by the way. Hey, that's wild.
That is life. Shout out to people in the comments. Shout out to Jason Keck, says first. Shout out to Rob Ashton, says what's up, everyone. Good to see you all. Cap for Life said, ladies and gentlemen. Pete's Take says, fins up. And I agree, Rob. Charlie really needs to release GTD theme as a ringtone. I agree.
Yo, hey, appreciate that, Rob. Jason Keck. Shout out to Jason Keck in the comments. Behind the scenes, I kind of gave Jason Keck. Well, this is gonna come out really bad.
Yeah.
This is gonna come out really bad. No Diddy. But I was about to say I gave Jason Keck a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? But look, I gave Jason Keck a lot of love when I was talking to Kadeem. I'm like, bro. But now that we're in public, shout out to Jason Keck. Probably dropped the best comment we've ever had on Go Time Dolphins. And just want to shout him out in public and say, yo, we appreciate not only you, Jason Keck, but everybody else in the comments that leaves, even if you leave a 5-star review or don't leave a 5-star review, if you leave a comment, don't leave a comment, we still rock with you. But Jason Keck, salute to you, bro. We appreciate the kind words that you said about us, man, for real. And it's stuff like that we do this podcast, bro. Like, we really just want everybody to, it's all inclusive, chop it up with us, barbershop vibe, get on each other a little bit, good times, bad times. So we rock with everyone. But shout out to you, Jason Keck. We appreciate you.
100%. Evening IMAX. The comments are popping. If you're not watching live, head on over to the next episode, which will be Friday, talking about jerseys, I believe. But yeah, appreciate all of you and let us know what you think about the schedule. Before we delve into us talking about it, Cap for Life says, week AFC game, next 3 division games in a row. So your week 1 AFC game, next 3 division games in a row, followed by 4 more AFC conference game. That's 8 AFC games out of 10 in the first weeks. Charlie, as I grabbed the schedule up on screen, what were your initial thoughts once we knew, obviously, the layout, who we're playing and when we're playing?
Initial thoughts. It's funny how you word a question, how you ask a question, because my initial thoughts were, there's a lot of winnable games in here. You have the Colts, then the Patriots, the Bills, the Paper Planes, the Panthers, the Chargers, the Browns, the Falcons, the Ravens, and we'll stop there. And those were my initial thoughts. Like, bro, this you can start off really good right here. And then I pumped the brakes and I said, you know what? You know what I'm not gonna do, Kadeem? I'm not gonna go into this like I usually go into this and come out on the high end of, yo, we should win 13 games this season. We should win 12 games this season. The over under, whatever the over under, we should go over this season. I am of the belief that Tyreek Hill will not be a Miami Dolphin. I don't believe he will. And if he is, he will 100% not be a Dolphin next year. So that's why I'm like, yo, you should have drafted his replacement this year. I would have opted for Matthew Golden, but it is what it is. Back to the schedule, Kadeem. Those were my initial thoughts. And I said, you know what? First glance, I'll give you the high end. We should win 12 games this season. We should win 12 games this season. And I came back down and I'm like, you know what? We'll probably win 8. And then I said, I'll meet them in the middle and we'll probably settle around 10. And 10 may not be a playoff. So I don't know how to feel about it, but I do know when you watch your favorite series, Kadeem, you're just watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what happens. Let's see what I get. And I don't like that I'm not excited about it no more because I wanted to be excited about it. Like, oh, it would feel good, expectations, but I have zero expectations now. And I'm just ready to see what happens. And I don't like that. That's how I'm fanning right now. What were your thoughts?
Before I get into your thoughts, there's a comment from Rob. Rob SAFC says, after the week I've had, the Finns are going 17-0 till the end. Charlie, Rob SAFC, he's a Sunderland fan. Is Sunderland? I don't know. Sunderland. There's no A in Sunderland. Rob, are you a Sunderland fan? I'm pretty sure you were. I was about to get into a whole story and then realized there's no A in Sunderland FC. So look, Sunderland. No, I was correct. Sunderland AFC. Right, my story. So, Sunderland are playing Tuesday night, I believe it is. Around them. If they win, they go to the playoff final. The playoff final, I guess, is the AFC conference game. So if you win, you get to the final. And then if you win the playoff final, you're in the Premier League. You're in the big boys, Arsenal, Man City, all that kind of stuff. Sunderland were losing 1-0. And as it remained, they were going to penalties. As you call them, PK. So losing 1-0, going to PKs. With the last kick of the game, Sunderland score. Everyone goes mental. Everyone goes absolutely mental. No PKs, but they're through to the playoff final. So yeah, shout out to Rob. He must be on cloud 9 right now. He is predicting a 17-0 season. My initial thoughts, Charlie, on the Dolphins schedule was very similar to yours. You look at it and you go, okay, Colts, that's a dub. Patriots, Tua starting, that's a dub. He's never lost to the Patriots. Bills, not ideal. I'll give them a loss. But Paper Planes, that's a dub. Panthers, that's a dub. Chargers, Herbert, 50-50, but I'll go dub because we're riding high right now. The Browns, that's a dub. Falcons, that's a dub. And then, like you, I pumped the brakes and I was like, that's too easy. That's way too easy. The Dolphins aren't going 7-1 heading into the Ravens Thursday night football game. So initial thoughts were it looked too easy. It's going to be more difficult. And also a lot of primetime games. A lot. And that shocked me. Did it shock you, Charlie?
So about what you said, it is possible the Dolphins go 7-1 going into the Ravens game because all we do is beat bad teams. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone's gonna say, "Oh, this is shout out to the same old Dolphins, Josh and Aaron Kasker, the Kasker brothers. It's the same Dolphins, always beating up on bad teams. But you know, Charlie Touche says, yo, you can only play who is on the schedule. So I don't care that we're 13-4. We had to win those games. Because if we don't win those games, it's going to be even worse. So I'm okay if we go 7-1 and everybody's talking about we're booty shakers and we're not for real. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody say. Hey, they're not they're booty they're booty shakers. You know what I'm saying? They're not a real football team. They're not serious. They're not what is it? Well, they're not tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm here for it. If that's the case, I'm here for it. But if you could bring the schedule back up one more time, Kadeem, here's the thing. You do have the Colts first week. And shout out to the Indianapolis Colts. They put Tyreek Hill on their schedule release. And for those of us who haven't seen it or don't know what's going on, they have removed their schedule release. The Colts have removed their schedule release. You know, all the teams do something fancy or cool or put out a cartoon or some type of 2 to 3 minute thing. And it was pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie. But the very first game was against us, the Dolphins, and it had the Coast Guard apprehending the Dolphin Tyreek Hill, basically the Dolphin version of Tyreek Hill. I'll be honest with you, Kadeem. I thought it was cool. I like it, and I think the world's going too soft. You know what I'm saying? I think the world going too soft. They had to take it down. That's crazy to me because I thought it was pretty cool. Like, yo, you can have South Park out there, but you can't do nothing outside of South Park, and people start having a baby. People start tripping.
Have you seen the video?
Yes, I've seen the video.
I love the fact that everyone got their knickers in a twist about Tyreek Hill getting arrested, but no one said anything about Will Levis getting run over and the truck just driving off. Like, hitting one completely fine. Tyreek Hill getting arrested. No, take it down. Take it down. You've gone too far. Insane.
Bro, so and while we're on the schedule release real quick, I'm not going to shout this team out because I don't like them. But the Buffalo Bills schedule release was better than ours, Kadeem.
Everyone's was.
And I'm going to be real with you. And even last year, I think last year we had to like the schedules out because we're super fast or something. You know what I'm saying? I'll be real with you, Kadeem. I guess you could take the schedule down for a second while we do this. I'll be real with you. I'm kind of okay with the Dolphins social media team not being as good as they are, because then everyone will say, oh, well, you have a great social media team, but you guys don't win games. Oh, you won the offseason, but you always do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of happy that the Dolphins haven't gone over the top with the schedule release and try to win everyone over. Because if I'm being honest, none of our schedule releases are that good. You know what I'm saying? So I would like them to be better, but I'm glad they're not going over the top per se. But when I seen Buffalo schedule release, I'm like, bro, any team in the league could have did this. You know what I'm saying? You could have got away with this right here. And it was so good, bro. And I hate the fact that it was so good because Buffalo beats us at everything. So I don't like it. Back to the schedule, please, if you can throw it up. So now, if we just go through this, you got week 1 against the Colts. Bro, this is the revenge game. The Colts beat us, and we should have won that game. We're going to win this game. We'll go 1-0. Tua is undefeated against the Patriots. That's 2-0. We'll lose Thursday night football. Kadeem, I don't think there's a Thursday night football where Tua hasn't gotten hurt. Am I correct?
I was going to say this. There's one against, I think it's the Chargers.
Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh on my birthday. Yep, because he came back from an injury.
Yeah.
And I think there's one against it was the Rams. Wasn't Rams Thursday night football? We done live on DraftKings.
I don't know that the Rams was Thursday night football, bro. I can't say that it was. But I just felt like Tua got hurt every Thursday night. But maybe it wasn't every Thursday night. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I do know the major injuries came on Thursday night football. You know, major concussions against Buffalo and a major one against Cincinnati. And lo and behold, here we are playing Buffalo again on Thursday night football. And who we got against? We got Baltimore on Thursday night too. 2 Thursday night football games. So all right, back to the schedule. Let's do this. You got the Colts. I like that as a win. You got the Patriots. I like that as a win. We'll lose the Buffalo. Now we're 2-1. We'll smack the Paper Planes 3-1. Run over Carolina 4-1. I think you should beat the Chargers. I don't think we will beat the Chargers. So I'll give us 4-2. 5-2 against the Browns, 6-2 against the Falcons. And then for the first half of the season, you'll go 6-3 because Baltimore is going to beat us because we don't beat Baltimore unless 2 of those 6 touchdowns. Here's how I see the schedule, Kadeem. I don't want to just go through, this is I think we should win 12 games. I don't think we will. But I want to look at it like this. If we can come out with 5 wins in the first 8 games, it puts you in a pretty good place. Not I know we'll only be 5-3. So how good of a place could it put you in? But at the same time, I think the Chargers knock us off just because I got to keep hearing the Herbert conversation that I'm not going to love. The Bills knock us off and the Ravens knock us off. So after that, you got this window where you got the Saints, the Paper Planes, the Steelers, with or without Aaron Rodgers. I don't see them boys. I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers no more. And then you got the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Patriots again. And I think that can bring you to a home stretch where you're a playoff team if you do it right. So if you just survive and win 5 games in the first 8, you will put yourself in a really good place, Kadeem. What I don't want to happen is we go on this 7-1 run because we lost, or 6-1 run because we lost to Buffalo and we beat all the sorry teams and we're just booty shakers. And then we play Baltimore, and then now Tua feels like he has to win the game for us, dive for a pylon, gets hit, fumbles on the 1, and then he's out for 5 weeks. Bro, you know what? I gotta say this right now. You bring this down, please. I gotta say this now. Kadeem, for 5 years, 5 years, my screensaver on my phone was none other than Tua Tagovailoa. For the first time in 5 years, just yesterday, I changed my screensaver. This is my screensaver now. It's the Dolphin schedule. Like, it's the Dolphin schedule. That's my screensaver. First time in 5 years, Tua is not my screensaver. I just don't believe he will protect himself the way he's supposed to protect himself. Yo, the team is on your back. Jobs are on your back. You got the city on your back. You got a lot on you, Tua. I can't afford you to say, well, I'm gonna play football the same way I know how to play football. I can't have that, bro. So yeah, we might go 6-1, Kadeem. And I would not be shocked if Tua takes a hit that he's not supposed to take, and then we suck again.
Pete, you did hear Charlie say Tua's full name. Charlie, once again, can you say Tua's full name?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I don't think there's any other Dolphins podcast that says that. Like, it's just so much easier to say Tua. And I want to quickly say about the schedule release. I saw Reason, shout out to Reason. He tweeted that the schedule release should have been like a mock of the GTA 6 trailer, given that GTA 6 is set in Miami. Super easy. I spoke to 5 Yard Lee on the phone and said, and we both came up, as we're talking, both said at the same time, just go Miami Vice. You got Tua McDaniel in like the classic Miami Vice, suit rolled up, have like the villain of the thing, Rick Ross, the big boss. Like, it didn't have to be anything too difficult. But I feel like, also shout out to Rob. He says he could be completely wrong, but I wouldn't know. That's on Charlie saying to his full name. But yeah, I just feel like they kind of went, we're not good. We're getting so much negative reactions on social media about every single thing we do. So we'll play it safe. And by playing it safe, they probably have the worst schedule release video out there. Shout out to the Seahawks. Seahawks one is my favorite so far. Have you seen it, Charlie?
I haven't, but I can't believe that it's better than Atlanta's.
So Atlanta's is the Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks is like a
hold up. I mean, I guess you could spoil it because we have a podcast, so you got to, you know what I'm saying? My bad. I should have seen it, but go ahead. What is it?
It's a 90s advert, and they've got like legendary Seahawks players as like action hero figures. So they've got like Marshawn Lynch and all these others, and like got like these expansive like weapons on their shoulders. It's just a cool schedule release. The Jaguars tried something. In my opinion, the Jaguars failed horribly. I've seen that one.
I haven't.
No, the black guy Ashton Hall with the routine videos, wakes up at like 3 a.m. and he like puts his face in water, all that kind of stuff. You seen it?
Maybe.
It was a thing maybe like 2 months ago, and they done Ashton Hall doing like a routine. It's like, bro,
you know what I like? I would have liked Tennessee to go back to the well. I think that's forever. You know what I'm saying? Like when Tennessee, the Titans were in downtown Nashville, which is a real place. It's a you know, I have a place in Alabama. It's like an hour and a half away from me in Alabama, where you just go to the public, put up the team names. What team is this? And then they just say the team. Bro, that was a hit. And I think you could have got away. I think you could remix it and then, you know, go with the same recipe. And I think it's still good for public consumption. Like, I don't think you had to go away from it. For example, like Atlanta, when Game of Thrones was out, they had the the whole schedule release was the seal of whatever team that they were playing. And I thought that was super dope. Like, you don't have to change that ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Game of Thrones is forever. House of Dragon came out. Like, I think you could. I understand why you would pivot because the Game of Thrones is no longer, but there's little spinoffs. But at the same time, there's things that could be done. Miami Vice is forever, bro.
Miami Vice is so easy.
We're not going to get on uniforms right now, but Dolphins got to tighten up, bro. All right, Dolphins have to tighten up. Back to the schedule though, if I can. You know what? Go ahead.
I was going to take a time out before heading to the schedule again.
Hey, bro, you don't have to say I was going to take it. You could just throw it into some football stuff. Like, hey, let's take a time out, go over a play real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was going to, but you want to get back. I was like, hey, you know, I'm there on the sideline. Like, you know, I'm going to be held back by.
You could have did that. You could have did that. Hold on. Let's go over this real quick. You could have did that.
Apologies. I think now is the perfect time to take a timeout.
Still listening? Then you're one of us. Got a day one Dolphins fan you know who hasn't found Go Time Dolphins yet? Put them on. As you're rocking with the show, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and drop a comment on your favourite podcast app, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music or Google Podcasts. It helps more Fins fans find the pod and keeps the community growing strong.
Shout out to the voice of the podcast, Jordan Simmonds. Of course. Bro, that's pretty cool. I could get used to the timeouts, but hopefully we get a sponsor on it and we could say, let's take a Antonio's Pizza timeout. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Antonio's Pizza. So what I was saying about the schedule, Kadeem, what I like about the schedule is I don't believe Tyreek Hill is going to be a Miami Dolphin. I really, really don't. But if he is a Miami Dolphin, what happens in the first couple weeks matter the most for Tyreek Hill's basically like how much we got to put up with Tyreek or how invested he would be in the team. Mess around, you go 0-2, it's gonna get real loud, real quick, real bad. If you go 0-2, you're probably going 0-3 because you're gonna lose the Buffalo that third game. So then people are gonna start checking out. The fact that we got the Colts, the Patriots, the Bills, the Paper Planes, and Carolina, I feel like that's 4-1. And now, how many touches did Tyreek hit? How many touches did Tyreek get? How happy is the locker room? how's the vibe around the facility? You know what I'm saying? You do knock off the Chargers and then knock off the Browns. Yo, now you're 6-1. You know what I'm saying? So, or what's that? Yeah, you're 6-1. So you're 6-1. That's momentum. And then all of a sudden, it's like the roller coaster year again. You got the happy celebrations. Everything changes when you're winning, bro. So if you could get on a good start early, maybe it changed the vibe of the facility. Tyree isn't that much of a nuisance, and it could. Who said that this season had to end the same way the other season did when we were balling? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we could get some different results. Maybe we could beat the Chargers. Maybe we could go on a 4-game winning streak in Spain, come out of the bye, beat the Saints, beat the Paper Planes again, beat the Steelers, and now you go into that game on a Sunday night football game against the Bengals. What's that, like 8-3, 9-3, 10-3? You know what I'm saying? Like that's something to play for. So it can be done. I just have my doubts now.
Yeah, Elwood Hodge, I believe it's Hodge. Apologies if it's not. Says coach got personal with Tyreek, and hey, maybe we see the arrest celebration once more.
Okay, Kadeem hit it on the head, bro. That is it. We're gonna get the arrest celebration one more time, bro. In Indianapolis, week 1, Tyreek's gonna score, and we're gonna get the same celebration. I love it.
I was praying for a home game week 1 because I would have been there, trying to get to week 2 against the Patriots. Trying, God willing, but we shall see.
So, since you brought it up, Kadeem, you're trying to get to a home game, right?
Yes, but it will basically it's Patriots. It's Patriots or nothing this year, it seems.
Hey, don't you think there's something funny or odd about that?
In what way?
So there's a theme for the past 3 years on Go Time Dolphins that we have to point out to our constituency. All right, I'm gonna try not to pronounce that word.
Constituency. It's cool.
Our listeners, right? So we have to point this out. Ever since the Buffalo game where Miami beat Buffalo early in the season, when it was the cramp game where everybody was cramping, and Melvin Ingram had that incredible play at the end of the game. Josh Allen one-hopped the ball on the 5-yard line, all the good stuff, because he got such a strong arm, he could one-hop passes on the 5-yard line. But the Dolphins beat the Bills in Miami. Everyone's cramping. And all of a sudden, the NFL just removed our home field advantage. And now we don't play 1 p.m. September games anymore. It's like everyone complained the Dolphins are cheating. The way they set up their stadium with the shade on one side and no shade on the other is cheating. And now, how many 1 p.m. home games do we have, Kadeem, in the first half of the season?
I see 2. Although there's 2 before November. Patriots week 2 and Chargers
week 6.
That's it.
And week 6 is October, like the second week of October.
And then the season as a whole, we might as well do it. We get the Bills. They give us the Bills at home
in November.
That's great. And then they give us the Saints in week 13. That's great.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, they have removed the home field advantage of playing in the heat. And then last year, what did they do, Kadeem? They made us play another Florida team. Oh, well, they could play the Jags at 1 p.m. at home. You know what I'm saying? So they removed our home field advantage. And I was going to ask you to pull up the schedule, which I'm not because we're running kind of long. But I wonder what year that was. Probably like 2022, I think, when we beat the Bills. Could be 21. I think it was 22.
22.
Yeah. So I wonder, before 22, how many home 1 p.m. games did we have for 3 or 4 years? And I would bet a lot of money that it was more than what we've had the past 3 or 4 years. Like they just removed our home field advantage. No more 1 p.m. home games for the Miami Dolphins early in the season. And this is what we get.
I didn't notice this until Elwood says it. We have no 4 o'clock games, not one all season. That is insane. Not even at home or on the road. It's either 1 p.m. or prime time. That's it. You either get 1 p.m. or prime time. That is insane.
So if you look at the Patriots game, week 2, it's home. So that's our one home field advantage game. And then they make us play the Patriots late in the season in a cold weather game on purpose. It's almost like whoever you play early, you have to play someone late in the cold. I don't mind the parity. I don't mind what's fair is fair. But at the same time, I would bet a lot of money, again, that you would not see the Miami Dolphins play the Ravens or the Bills or the Bengals or the Chiefs at home at a 1 o'clock game in the first 2 weeks of any season ever. They're never going to give us a perennial juggernaut early so we could play these boys in the season at 1 p.m. They're never going to do it at home.
Cliff says 16-11 or 7-10, and Jason Keck adds, I don't think weather should be a factor. It shouldn't be the team in the weather against the team. I think teams should be forced to have domes, retractable, of course. I reckon that's a conversation for another episode, I guess. Probably when we talk about why the Dolphins are in the AFC East and not another division, because it makes no sense. Charlie, the Dolphins have opted to take their bye week after Madrid. Week 11 is Madrid, a 9:30 a.m. kickoff game if you're in the States or in, I guess, the Eastern time zone. I think it is 1:30 p.m. for people in Spain. And so far, I know it's, I think, Rob Ashton, Tim Carroll, Charlie Rawson, myself, 5 Yardley, Simon, and then obviously the trio, Charlie, Bert, and LB. Is Sherrod Steve going?
I'm going to assume Sherrod Steve's going.
All I'm saying, this could be an epic Go Time Dolphins meetup. An epic. Like, I feel like it had to happen. You can't get that many Go Time Dolphins people in one city and not meet up.
Yo, listen, while we're on that topic, every international game, the Miami Dolphins host a party. The Dolphins party, you know what I'm saying? The official Miami Dolphins pregame party on like a Saturday, right? It's usually on a Saturday, right, Kadeem?
Yeah, the day before, so yeah.
Yeah, so I will tell you now, get there early. If you get there late, there's a chance you don't get in at all. They stop letting people in at a certain time, then it's full to capacity, then you're waiting outside in the elements, then you can't get in, then you're deterred, and then you go somewhere else. If you're going to Spain, try to get to the party early. Kadeem, we barely got in last year, and then Sherrod Steve came maybe 8 minutes later and didn't get in at all. So listen, try to get there early. Kadeem, we're getting in early this year. And actually, I'm getting on the mic this year. I'm the mira. Let me get the mic.
We'll say this so often. We'll say this on Patreon. We'll say it over and over again. If you're not there from probably like midday, you're playing with fire, because people will be there camping from early, myself included. Like, whatever time this party starts, get there hours beforehand. Last year was amazing. We met some great people. They've come on the podcast.
Met DJ Pyro.
Pyro was going to be there in Spain as well. That's what I'm saying. It is going to be a time for all ages. Just get a dub. Just get a dub.
Yeah.
Rob said, I missed you in Frankfurt, not missing you in Madrid. The Louisiana bar in Frankfurt was fun. LB said, let's get them likes up, people. LB, you and Rob, you're on, or everyone is on 67 comments. Let's push for 100. I know how you guys like this comment game. You're on 67. Push for 100 before we leave. Charlie, I mentioned this earlier. I'll bring up again, simply because I don't think anyone saw it coming. 5 primetime games. 6 if you're including 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 if you're including Madrid, but also the layout of those games as well. Thursday night football, then Monday night football, weeks 3 and 4. Not too bad. Extra days rest, cool, brilliant. Thursday night football, week 9 against Baltimore, and I feel like that's normally Thursday night football. I remember Kiko Alonso cleaning Joe Flacco, like just out cold.
Yeah.
Obviously, we then travel to Madrid by week. For me, week 15 and 16. Monday night football and then Sunday night football, and in the nicest way possible. Dolphins Steelers as a primetime game. I don't quite understand why. And Dolphins Bengals, I can understand more because, you know, Joe Burrow, Tua, all that kind of stuff. Did they really need to give us 6 primetime games this year?
So we're gonna have a betting episode coming up soon. Gamble responsibly, bet in moderation. And what I'm about to say kind of contradicts what I think. But it looks like the media is still in on the Dolphins. 5 primetime games, 6 standalone games. The most is like 8, I think. I think the Eagles have 8. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Cowboys have 8 too. Maybe 9 is the most, and I think it's the Eagles. I don't know. But this is a lot, Kadeem, to have the Dolphins in all of these primetime games. And if I'm being honest with you, every time we have a lot of these primetime games, we stink up the joint, if I'm being real with you. I remember I went to travel to see my brother in Texas, and my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, wow, the Dolphins are on TV a lot right now." I'm like, hey, yeah, we're stinking up the joint. But what I like about this Thursday night football against the Ravens on week 8 is we have a mini bye week for week 9 home against, or in week 9 we play the Ravens, and then we have a mini bye week to play a home game against the Bills. So we have more time, and it's a home game to play the Bills, and hopefully that's one you can eke out. Here's my thing. Here's my belief about all these primetime games. I think the media is building us up to watch the fall happen, to cover the collapse, so to speak. I think they gave us all of these home games because for whatever reason, Tua is so polarized in the league. And now you have Mike McDaniel and it's Miami. And for whatever reason, you know, when the Heat was a big deal with LeBron, it was the Heat against the world. And I think this is the collapse that they're going to cover. I think they really want us to fail so they could cover the collapse of the Dolphins. And it'll be an epic collapse because it'll be all over TV. I don't think this is them thinking we're going to be good. I think they think we're going to be bad, and that's why they gave it to us so they could cover it.
Yeah, Cap agrees, setting us up for failure, perhaps. Shout out to Mr. Finisher. He says no Tyreek equals 0 primetime games. And he asked, what are the chances of the Dolphins making a Super Bowl appearance this upcoming season? Bob Ashton said a 31-1 chance. That seems way too low. Like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But I do want to go through this before we get into overtime. I do want to say this. This is what I think is going to happen. I think we'll beat the Colts. I think we'll beat the Patriots. We'll lose to Buffalo. We'll beat the Paper Planes. We'll beat the Panthers. That's 4-1. We'll lose to the Chargers, 4-2. We'll beat the Browns, 5-2. We'll lose to the Falcons because it's a trap game because we're getting prepared for the Ravens. That's 5-3. Then we're 5-4, lose to the Ravens. 5-5, lose to Buffalo. This is not good. We go to Spain, get back right. 6-5, bye week. 7-5, beat the Saints. 8-5, beat the Paper Planes. 9-5, beat the Steelers. And then you got 3 games left. Bengals, Bucks, and Patriots, and the playoffs hanging in the balance. How are you going to act last 3 games of the season? That's what I think is going to happen. Not what I want to happen. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. Elwood says, y'all are crazy. We are going to play like 2023 if healthy, to which Jason Keck says, when was the last time they stayed healthy? And listen, it's the same for every team across the league. Unless you're somehow the Vikings, leave your starting quarterback, bringing a backup in Sam Darnold and just run the gauntlet. Makes no sense. But this team's chances this year rides on health. And if we're completely honest, fans believe that jobs hang in the balance. And if the team is unhealthy and they're losing games, people are getting the P45s, and it's a whole new regime next year. We'll discuss that later on this summer. But I am of a similar belief to you in that we beat the Colts, beat the Patriots, lose to Buffalo, beat the Paper Planes, and beat the Panthers. So we're sitting at 4-1?
Yep.
I actually think we'll beat the Chargers. Essentially, I think we get to Thursday Night Football 7-1. But simply because we're playing bad teams.
I know. I'm okay with that, Kadeem. It's the schedule.
Of course. Listen.
Go ahead.
We say this all the time. If the Dolphins don't get to the Ravens game and the 7-1, it's going to be, the Dolphins are trash. How are they losing these games? Blah, blah, blah. But if they get the 7-1, we're only beating bad teams. And listen, we don't know, or we didn't pick this schedule to fall the way it did. That's not on us. We can only beat what's in front of us. And, the Panthers will be frisky this year, you would assume. But the Colts, the Browns, probably not the Falcons, the Saints. Like, there are some teams who are looking at next year's draft class going, or next year's quarterback class going. We want an early pick because this is supposedly a good class. So take advantage of that and basically, win some games. But my early prediction is around 8 to 11 wins. And that's healthy or unhealthy, to be honest. And Miss Finisher is correct. Sounds like another 13th overall pick in the draft next year.
Yeah, I think this is the season where Tomlin doesn't make it to 500. I think they don't get the 8 wins. And by the time we play the Steelers, they might be cashed out. I think they'll be over with, even with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's been done. But before we get in overtime, what's funny, and I'll end it on this, about my prediction saying we should win 12 games, but I could see us only winning 8, so I'll settle for 10. The funny thing is, when I just ran the schedule, we had 9 wins going into the last 3 games of the season. And the last 3 games of the season, we have Cincinnati, Tampa, and New England. So the funny thing is, we'll probably lose to Cincinnati, lose against a team we're not supposed to lose against in the Bucks, and then end up with 10 wins against New England and maybe make the playoffs. When you could run the table and have 12 wins, and it's a whole different thing. So, this is why we play the games. Kadeem, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmonds, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Hey, we're supposed to have another timeout, Kadeem.
You didn't call it. You said to me earlier, call timeouts. You don't call the timeout.
I thought it was fixed in. I thought it was a fixed in timeout. Like, that's what we do. But you go ahead. What you got for bonus time?
I got a timeout. That's what I got.
Enjoying the episode so far? Whether you're watching in the comfort of your own home or on the Go Time Dolphins is where you want to be for your fix on all things Dolphins. So hit that like button, drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us keep growing and reaching more Fins fans around the world.
Before we go, I'm not going just yet, but plug in tomorrow's episode. We are talking uniforms. There's so much speculation about potential uniforms we could see this year. And that rivalry game is going to be so interesting. Shout out to Dolphins advocate Marino. He says, "Where y'all at?" I'm in London, UK. Born and raised. In my bedroom is where I spent most of my days. I ain't doing a whole rap, but yeah, I'm London, UK. But I can say this: I've been to Miami. I've been to Hard Rock. That's my second home. Like, cannot wait to go back.
He's only been there one time. This dude, like, don't know how to act in front of company. He starts rapping. You know what I'm saying? And then now he goes to Miami. Leaves with a kid, like, yo, went to Miami and like, yo, let's make a baby. You know what I'm saying? And now
wait, with my wife. I didn't go to Miami, get reckless. And now I got this little Miami baby wondering about. No, the baby was with my wife. Let's make that clear.
Miami Micah is a whole new thing now. Miami Micah, like, why you call him Miami Micah? Because he was all right. I'm getting too deep, but listen, yeah, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida, off of 27th Avenue. If you're from Miami, you know that's where the locals call it Joe Robbie Stadium, because that was the original name of the stadium. That's where Joe Robbie is. Hard Rock is the name that actually held on longer than any other name other than Joe Robbie. So you'll hear people call it Hard Rock, but the locals still call it Joe Robbie. So I was born and raised in Carroll City, County Line Road. Shout out to Rick Ross, Cherry Bay down the street from me. But nah, man, this is it. This is Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. But something tells me that he wasn't really asking where we are. Like, I think he's just like, where y'all at? I think he's just like, where you? And then you put like a ping on it.
Well, yeah, because sometimes, you know, we're always getting new subscribers, new listeners, new watchers. It's always good to kind of tell people where we're from and stuff like that. And also, he said, closer to Spain, are you going? Tickets are booked. Flights and hotel are booked. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, Germany last year, I booked my flight and hotel the week of the game, and I got my tickets 2 days before while sitting in the airport. I'm not doing that again. Like, I will be there, even if I have to like hold a gate away and I'm like pointing to people's mouth and stuff like that. Like, I'm there 100%.
You know what? Let's do this. The last time me and Kadeem missed an international game was pre-2017. Now, I know that sounds impressive. Like, dang, we've gone to every Miami Dolphin international game since 2017. We went to the Saints game. We went to the Jags game in London. We went to Germany, the Chiefs. Now we're going to Spain. Kadeem, do you see a trend in this?
The Dolphins lose
every single time. We always lose, bro. Every single time, bro. That's crazy.
But we're still going.
Yeah,
I'm still there. I'm not going to not go now. Like, I have to go.
I'm still there.
And to be fair, I said it when I went Hard Rock last year. If we lost to the Jags week 1, that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm cursed. But, and yeah, Rob, see, Jags game. Although I'm thinking Hard Rock Jags game, not London Jags game. And
Yeah.
I don't know how we lost that one.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready for another Dolphins London game, bro. I want to go back to London. I love London, mate.
Hey, in-house, like in studio podcast. Hopefully the video doesn't mess up as well. Because
hey, hold on, bro. And hopefully I don't get sick again. Every time I go to London, I get sick. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. So me and Bert were actually thinking, like, should we go to London first again? Because every international game, we always go to London first. And I wondered, like, should we have a in-person podcast before the Spain game? Before
100%. And to be honest as well, it's probably easier to get to Spain from London and potentially cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I did read today that they are pushing on extra flights from Miami to Spain.
And from Spain to Miami in return.
You're probably better off flying to London because shout out to Finn's Extra had this great point. You could, from London, you could fly to different cities and airports in Spain.
Yeah.
So scenario, like if it's cheaper to fly to somewhere like Valencia and then get a train into Madrid, you can do that. So yeah, anyone.
You know I think we're flying into London, then going to Spain, and then Spain to back home.
That probably sounds like the best thing to do. Shout out to Liz. Welcome. So yeah, if you're traveling from the US to Spain and you haven't booked yet, I would highly recommend stopping elsewhere in Europe first, even if it's just for a night, because it's probably easier and cheaper to then fly from that country into Spain. But that's just my opinion. That is based on nothing but what goes on in my head, and sometimes it's not the best. So yeah,
that's all I got, Kadeem.
Same.
Oh yeah, hey. So miles traveled, real quick. The Miami Dolphins have like the 7th most miles traveled this year. Let's go. The Chargers have the most, then the Rams, then the Seahawks, then Jacksonville, San Fran, Atlanta, Indianapolis, and then the Dolphins, the 7th most miles traveled this season on the schedule. The least amount of miles traveled, Cincinnati Bengals, 8,000. Must be nice. Now let's help these boys out because they can't start off fast. So let's help them out. That's
and they also
what we doing.
They also picked up.
Matter of fact, hold on. This just dawned on me. You ready? Least amount of miles traveled: Cincinnati, Buffalo, Baltimore, Detroit. Talk about tipping your hand, NFL. Why don't you just tell us how you really feel? You might as well just tell us who you really want to be the face of the league. That's funny.
Listen, as Coach always says, it's about overcoming adversity. It's going to be a long season of adversity. Before we properly go, Thomas Valentine messaged me about half an hour before we started, asking if we were doing the quarterback rankings episode. I was like, "Of course we are." like, why wouldn't we? Like, that's an insane.
That's
question.
like our thing.
And then he asked, give me a shout if you want me to do it. It's like, again, like you're part of the furniture. Like there's no way you don't do it. So yeah. Liz says, to be honest, don't know about the season. Seemed doomed before it even gets started. Let's see how it all pans out. As I mentioned, we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, talking uniforms. So let us know in the comments of this video how you think how we're going to do in this season, record, all that kind of stuff. And then we shall see you tomorrow to talk uniforms. Until then, we shall see you soon. I messed it up. No, there we go. Peace.
Oopsie.